These shits right here, this will clear all your photography problems. Easy. It's all good. Alright, YouTube, I had some really cool photography content planned for the coming weeks. But as you can see, because we're at my desk and not outside, those ideas didn't quite come to fruition. So let me talk about that really quick. The first thing I wanted to do was talk about a new lens that I recently got. And I was really high on this idea because I think it'd just make a cool video. But I think I need more time with the lens. I didn't get the images that I was looking for, and I don't want to share an incomplete idea with you guys. So I'm not ready to make that video just yet. The other thing I wanted to do was talk about a roll of CineStill 400D that I was going to shoot. I was going to do some night photography, capturing some of the neon lights around me in the city. But that didn't quite work out either because when I was out shooting, about 12 or 13 shots in, I realized that my long exposures weren't exactly long exposures. I never changed my shutter speed to bulb mode from 1/60, and I just dropped them off to get developed today. But I really doubt they're going to turn out in the way that I want them to. So those ideas didn't exactly work out. So for this week, I'm going to talk about something different. So I think generally this video is just going to kind of be admitting that my photography is not where I want it to be right now. I've been feeling pretty frustrated about my inspiration, about the shots that I'm getting, even though I keep on going out for photo walks and stuff like that, and keep on going out to see new stuff. And it's just not quite stacking up in the way that I would want it to. So this video is going to kind of be about what I'm doing to remedy that. And yeah, I'm just going to talk through it. I'm going to archive some negatives as I do it, clean up shop a little bit, and try and make the most of not feeling the best about my photography. Now I got quite a bit of negatives to work through here. All right, let's pop this bad boy open. And I always forget how to do this because I don't do it too often. So yeah, that's City Field. That's kind of cool. So anyways, what have I been rambling on about? I've been saying that I've been feeling pretty stuck photographically. I've been going for a lot of different photo walks and new places in the city, and it still feels like I'm seeing very similar stuff that I'm not particularly drawn to. I've never been like an architecture photography guy, so that doesn't really do it for me. I've just mostly been a nature guy, I think. So like any modern person faced with a dilemma, I asked Google what I should do in my situation. And I found a lot of articles suggesting a couple different sort of solutions. And most of it starts with getting a little introspective and seeing, hey, why do you do this in the first place? So let me talk about that. I feel like so many photographers, like wedding photographers or even street photographers, do it because they want to like capture a moment or something like that and really share that with people. And for me, it's always been about if I go somewhere cool, I want to capture how it feels so that I can remember that and I can maybe share that with other people. It's never been like a really grand idea or anything like that. It's just kind of been a way for me to have fun and sort of enjoy myself. In a slightly more sentimental sense, photography is what really kind of opened my eyes to the world. It always made me want to travel, made me want to experience new things. And I think that's something I want to share with other people too. I want to take awesome photos that do justice to the places that I see so that other people are encouraged to go out and see the worlds themselves. I think what's really surprising to me is that just in the past week I've learned of two photographers, both street photographers I'll say, but I found out their ultimate goal was to be like held in like an archive of the Met or the MoMA or something like that. And that's an idea that's never even crossed my mind. And now that I know the idea exists, it's still not something that I really want to seek out. And that kind of parlays into the next thing of like what your goals are as a photographer. And like I said, my goals do not align with that at all. I'd say the only goal that I really ever had was to have a gallery at some point, to share my images with people and then maybe sell some prints if people like them enough. I always thought that'd be something really cool to do. But yeah, it's nothing concrete. It's always just been kind of, I mean, it's a hobby. It's something that I do because I love it and I enjoy it and I have fun. And it's very personal. And I like the idea of in the future having something like a book to put out or something like that, but I feel so far from that I can't even imagine doing that right now. And then obviously I also want to be successful here on YouTube. I feel like that's connected to my photography goal. I like to make videos about photography and traveling and stuff like that. So I feel like those things are inherently intertwined. But back to why I do it, I think it's important to realize that nowhere in that why I do it is it to show off the streets of the area around me or anything like that. I feel like my photography has always been like sort of travel oriented. It's usually about stuff like hiking. I love getting out and being in nature, and some of my favorite photos are the ones that kind of capture the essence, I think, of being out in nature and the serenity and peace that it offers us as humans. So I think it does make sense for me to feel a little uninspired with the New York City landscapes because it's just not something that I'm totally drawn to. And this feels a little bad to me for a couple reasons. Like, how am I in New York City and feel like I don't have a lot to photograph or don't feel inspired to photograph? That feels almost insulting to the amount of people who would do anything to be here and to be in my shoes and have all of New York City directly around them to shoot at their disposal. But I feel like it's a grass is always greener on the other side kind of thing. I think I've put a lot of time into trying it out, pushing forward and seeing like, you know what, maybe I will find something here. Maybe I will really like this if I put in enough hours, enough rolls of film into the streets. But after many, many, many hours of photographing around here, and I feel like more often than not coming up dry compared to when I just go out into nature and shoot, yeah, it just doesn't feel like it's my thing, I guess. So those are the first two things that my internet research led me to do, to find out why I do it and to find out what my goals are. So that's like a rough outline. And then the third thing that I want to do, and this was kind of more so on my own, was to find some good inspiration. So when I talk about good photographic inspiration, I'm talking about photo books and like high quality YouTube videos, stuff that I really enjoy, the stuff that I watch or read and consume and think, man, that makes me want to shoot, rather than just like, why did I look at that? I also want to mention, and it took me a little bit too long to realize this, but it's totally normal to feel down about your photography or your art or whatever you do from time to time. And honestly, I think I've been doing pretty good about feeling positively about the stuff that I'm creating. I've been putting out YouTube videos pretty consistently recently. I've been putting out a lot of good photos that I like recently. So to have a little downward slump is, I think, completely normal and completely fine. So if you're feeling that way, I encourage you to not beat yourself up about it and just feel what you need to feel and start focusing on improving and getting past that. Everything goes up and down, and maybe if you're down here, we're gonna do what we need to do to get back up here. And another good positive thing to do to just feel better about your photography is to stop comparing. And I know it's really trite because everyone says it. It's something I really need to take time to internalize. Like, yeah, other people's work is their work, my work is mine. And that's all there is to it. It's black and white. There's no middle ground there. Another thing I've realized in my pensive week of thoughts and quiet contemplations about photography and life is that YouTube can be a good separation from photography, actually. And I think I need to take advantage of the fact that I can make a really good video about photography without having any photos in there that are fresh or new or anything like that. And I think that's something I feel pressure from, in a sense. Trying to keep up with consistent uploads here on YouTube is that I feel like I need to be constantly delivering new photos, new work that's of a certain quality threshold that I hold myself to. And that's just like a self-manufactured thing. I don't need to be doing that. It's kind of funny to like look through this mini contact sheet thing, and it's almost like I'm looking through the viewfinder again, because I'll look at some of these photos and I'm like, I think these have pretty solid composition. And then I look at them bigger and I'm like, yeah, no, these are not it. So yeah, it feels like a ridiculous thing to complain about, but I feel like at the end of the day, I like photographing nature and wilderness and getting out there. And turns out New York City might not be the place to get photos of things like that nature. That being said, there's a lot of places that I still need to see in the city area that I think have some things to offer me photographically. I'm going to be going to Rockaway Beach to do a surf lesson pretty soon, which I'm excited about in general. But I'm also excited to see, to get some pictures of the waves of that beach. Hopefully there's something good for me there. Now these are special. These are some rolls of film that I thought were lost by the lab, but are actually not, as you can see. So that's huge. Now I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret here. I don't really like Cinestill 800T. I don't think it looks all that good, and I also hate how susceptible it is to static. I've probably shot 4 rolls of this stuff now, and every roll feels like it's just loaded with static. I also don't like cutting negatives. This is scary stuff. Well, that's pretty much everything I have to say about the matter. At this point, I can probably do the rest of this off camera and not have to sit around with you guys watching. But I appreciate you guys hanging around. I promise I'll have some little more interesting photography content coming soon. I just wanted to let you guys know where I'm at, because I think it's important to, I guess, humanize myself a little bit and not just show off like, hey, I got these great photographs every time. Like, every time I go out, it's a successful photo shoot. I do want to communicate the fact and be open with the fact that I'm an amateur. Like, I do this for fun, and I don't always deliver, especially when I go out for something like a photo walk that has kind of really no clear objective. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it, and better days ahead. I'll see y'all in the next one real soon.